JRM Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of WPIAL High School Basketball, produced by JRM Video Productions.
Coming to you inside the Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania, more affectionately known as the sweetest place on earth. Welcome to the PIAA Boys 2A State Championship as your Sewickley Academy Panthers face off against the Blue Devils from Old Forge. And welcome inside the Giant Center, everybody. I am Matt Fargo, joined alongside David McDermott. It is the Panthers and the Blue Devils for a chance at state gold. And for so many teams, Damon, the state championship, the final game in each classification here in Hershey is a goal. It's something you set out for every season. But for Sewickley Academy, much of this 2025-2026 season, it was an expectation to get here. They've gotten here, and now they're trying to come home with gold instead of silver like they did a season ago.
Season ago, you lose on the last shot, losing by 1 point, and we interviewed Mamadou Kane earlier in the year, and that's all they've been talking about all year. Last year, it was a surprise. This year, they are expected to win this game, and they play a team on a 9-game win streak who beat a 30-0 United team to get here. Old Forge, I think we have the two best teams in the state ready to face off here today.
Yeah, the last time Sewickley Academy lost to a team in the state of Pennsylvania 357 days ago on this very floor. Let's take a look at how these two teams match up. Damien, you said we got the two best teams in the state, and the numbers really suggest that in a lot of ways. What sticks out to you in the tell the tape?
Well, first off, for Sewickley Academy, the best defense in the whole entire state in the Whippeal, into it, whatever you want to say, only giving up 30.5 points per game, and then they're still going to run and gun at all times, averaging 69.4 points a game. But look at Old Forge. They can keep up with the pace, and that's what's going to make this game really interesting, averaging over 62 points per game.
And only 4 games this season, Sewickley Academy has won by less than 21 points. That's a big key. And speaking of keys, it's time for the keys. Damon, how do you get a win for these two teams in this state title game?
First, for Old Forge, you've been leaning on them the whole entire season. Their 1,000-point scorer, Cameron Parker, had 36 points out of their 64 points in the semifinals. Also, they have to try to break that press from Sewickley. That's the reason they only give up 30 points per game. You got to trust your guards and get past that press. Lastly, for Old Forge, you got to limit those offensive rebounds from Sewickley Academy. We're going to talk right into Sewickley Academy. You got to feed the Giants here at the Giant Center. Adam McKimba, Mamadou Kane, they're going to get you offensive rebounds. They had 21 and 16 in that semifinal game. Both 6'8". They're going to be trouble all night long for Old Forge. Second, the depth of Sewickley. You have Connor Tall, Rob Southall. Jameer Guyton has been a key piece in this playoff run. Trust your depth. Give your starters some breaks. And lastly, you've been here before. Lean on it. You were in this game last year. It came down to the last second. You know exactly what you need to do here today to win this game.
We mentioned Sewickley Academy's second straight appearance in this state championship game. Their 6th in school history, looking for title number 4. They are 3-2 in those meetings before. On the other side of that coin for Old Forge, their first state championship since 1932, going back to when Amelia Earhart became the first female to fly in the world, going back to before the Pittsburgh Steelers were the Pittsburgh Pirates, founded in 1933. That's how long ago the last time Old Forge was in a state championship game. They won that game against Erie Strong Vincent, a very barn burner of a game, Damon, 24-19, Old Forge's only state championship.
Basketball has changed a little bit. This is a game, it might be first to 70 to win this game.
All right, when we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups and tip-off. It's the PIAA 2A Boys State Championship from the sweetest place on earth. It's hopefully going to be sweet for Sewickley when we come back here on JRM Video Productions.
Growing up at Sewickley Academy, every single step is a giant leap towards extraordinary, where students are excited about school and develop a love for learning. Our early childhood students begin their adventure here in a world of discovery and wonder, building, creating, and stretching their imaginations, sharing curiosities, and kindness. We help each child with routines that build self-confidence. We lean into learning through exploration, allowing time to observe, question, and reflect. Through personalized attention, we see firsthand what excites them to learn and create lessons from the things they're most interested in, exploring new vocabulary to help communicate thoughts, developing math skills to problem solve, and even discovering talents and passions. Many steps are taken each day, and we make every one count. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary. At Sewickley Academy, we blend a classical education with an eye towards the future. Growing up here, students benefit from continuous innovation and endless creativity, helping to build their character and confidence. Where they are free to experiment in an environment that encourages collaboration and sparks imagination. And where learning goes beyond the classroom walls, balancing structured academics with play-based experiences. Every student's interest is cultivated from the first day to inspire a lifelong love of learning, with guidance that fosters independence, goals, and skills. Growing up at Sewickley Academy means building a solid foundation for future growth and development, where students become who they're meant to be. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary. At Sewickley Academy, a lifelong love for learning is sparked from day one, preparing students for college and beyond. Students are encouraged to think and learn independently and cooperatively, while having the flexibility to pursue their own interests across academics, athletics, and the arts. With small class sizes and a strong sense of community, students from the middle school to the senior school learn the value of collaboration and understanding. Regardless of age, Sewickley Academy students gain the confidence to lead, inspire, and excel. And every experience along the way shapes their future, allowing them to build the skills and character necessary to succeed. At Sewickley Academy, becoming a lifelong learner is becoming the best version of yourself. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary.
It's the 2026 PIAA 2A Boys Basketball State Championship. As we get ready for today's game with the starting lineups, we'll take a look at the Blue Devils from Old Forge, 22-6, District 2 champions. They'll put out on the floor Cameron Parker, Cameron Krasnowski, Logan Fanning, Nick Salarino, and Arthur Askew. And for Sewickley Academy, 29-1 champions out of the WPIAL, the usual suspects: Drew Steele, Caden Battles, Lucas Grimsley, Mamadou Kane, and Adam Ikimba. The starting lineups for our 2A state championship game. And really for these two, David, so much emphasis gets put on Mamadou Kane, but Adam Ikimba showed up and showed out in the semifinal game. Drew Steele showed up and showed out in the quarterfinal game with 20 points. You never know where the offensive production is going to come, and I think that's what makes and has made this Sewickley team so tough to defend night in and night out, week in and week out, coming into this state title championship game. Yeah, when you have 5 starters, you have no idea who can lead the team in points. Is it most likely going to be Drew Steele or Mamadou Kane? Yes, but at any time, Lucas Grimsley can get hot from 3. He did it last year in their state playoff run. Like we said, you have so many key bench pieces that can also give you scoring, and it's so interesting because they go against an Old Forge team tonight that they're going to lean on 2 guys that average more than half of their points, with Cameron Parker, a 1,000-point scorer, and Logan Fanning had 22 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 blocks in their semifinal matchup. So it's going to turn into depth versus 2 players on Old Forge, and I think Sewickley has that advantage tonight where you can lean on so many different guys to get hot tonight and score for you. There you see Drew Steele being introduced. The lights dimmed down low here at the Giants Center, and Steele came off the bench and was a big contributor into keeping the Panthers in that game against Linville Hill. And kind of a thing in common of these two opponents is Linville Hill ended their seasons both for Old Forge and Sewickley Academy a season ago. Linville Hill beat Old Forge in the quarterfinals of the state last year, and then, of course, won the state championship in that 55-54 thriller of a game one season ago. And now Old Forge makes the 1 hour and 48-minute trip here to Hershey. Sewickley makes the 3 hour and 44-minute trip that we did this morning. And a little bit of a different, you got to see how those legs feel after riding a bus for almost 4 hours.
And you got to say, Sewickley came in and they warmed up for the full 20. Old Forge went right through their layup line and only warmed up for 10 minutes, maybe trying to set the tone just a minute here before the game.
And now the national anthem of our state championship game. Will turn it downstairs for the anthem. Our national anthem here at the Giants Center. The Panthers are back amid the moment there. Sixth appearance now here in the state championship, 3-2. They won in 97 and 2010 and back in 2017. Lost in 04 and, of course, last season. Made mention the only appearance, 1932 for Old Forge. That 24-19 win over Erie Strong Vincent. Old Forge winners over East Juniata, Delco Christian, DeLone Catholic, and United to get here. Sewickley Academy wins over Sagertown, Port Allegheny, McConnellsburg, and Mercyhurst Prep to advance to this state championship contest. Mike Izzolino in his second season, second straight trip to the title game, as far as you can go in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we're underway. Ikemba on a double tap, cannot win it. Parker controls now for the Blue Devils. They set up shop. Far side wing, three on the way from Parker is good. Cameron Parker, the leading scorer of this team, starts hot for the Blue Devils.
36 points in the semifinals, 11 for 11 from the free throw line, so he'll slash too, but he's going to stay on fire right from that semifinal game and cash in on that first three.
Battles to his right. Steals and Battles play catch. First offensive trip up the floor here for Sewickley Academy. Averaging 68 points a game. It's Ikemba down low. Drives inside the paint. Hook shot on the way. Rolls out. Rebound underneath Grimsley. Kicked out of bounds off of the Panthers. It will be Blue Devil basketball, and it's a Blue Devil favored crowd, and I think, you know, the Panthers all season long have enjoyed the role of the villain, and I think they need to embrace that here today. Up the floor come the Blue Devils. Second trip up. Parker reverses it up to Krasnowski. Krasnowski, as Ikemba and Battles had popped up, and now up and fouled on a drive off the right side, and an opportunity for shots at the line. First foul of the game will send Logan Fanning to the line.
Saw them switch on that pick and roll, but they both went after one man, and then it was a clear lane for them to drive for Logan Fanning. Another very dangerous player here for Old Forge. Again, 21 points, 6 blocks, 12 rebounds, averages over a double-double the whole entire season, listed at 6'7", so he can battle down low with Akimba and Mamadou Kane here tonight. Sewickley doesn't have that size advantage they usually do in these matchups.
Grimsley picked up the foul, 1 of 2 at the line for Fanning. Foul line, Mamadou Kane in and out. Panthers yet to score, as Parker will slowly bring it up. Kushnowski handing it off to Fanning, and now here to the near side wing, it's Askew. Askew gets it back. Around the perimeter here for the Blue Devils. 3 on the way from Askew. It's offline. Rebound, one and done opportunity as Steele clears it away. Steele gets it back from Battles. Hands it right back out to Battles on the wing. Jump inside. Blocked out. Fanning got his hands on it and blocks it, but Sewickley retains possession. Grimsley was there, right place, right time. Here's Grimsley driving inside. Jumped inside. They wanted to travel. They did not get the call. I think that was a clear jump step there for Grimsley. Back outside as the Panthers operate, trying to get points. Grimsley stop and pop, and it's pure for Lucas Grimsley, the senior, and 1,000-point scorer for the Panthers.
Way to lean on your senior there to get you kind of comfortable in this game with a mid-range. He can pull right up.
Blue Devils in no hurry.
They're doing what a lot of teams didn't do all season long. They're not going to let Sewickley early on dictate the pace of this game.
Parker driving and fouled, and early whistles not going to bode well for the Panthers if this game is called tightly as it has started. Just a mere less than 3 minutes into this game, 5:11 to play in the opening quarter.
And bad news, Lucas Grimsley already has 2 fouls. Your senior leader might have to check out of this game really early.
That could mean that Amari Spencer could be seeing time, but it will be Jameer Guyton that comes in relief. And we've seen what Guyton can do both offensively and maybe even more effectively on defense.
On defense, he can rebound for you like a forward. He can get you a couple block shots. He's really come on the second half of this season and proved himself being the 6th man coming off the bench for Sewickley.
6-2, Old Forge the advantage with those shots at the line.
So far, Fanning 1 point, Parker 5. So just like we thought, 2-man game so far for Old Forge.
Ikemba at the foul line. Stops his dribble, moved it back outside to Guyton, and now to Battles. Steals with it. Steele's eyes up a 3. That's pure! Drew Steele's 5 threes in the quarterfinals and his first in the state title.
And he's comfortable here. We saw him catch fire last year to keep him in the game versus Linville Hill as a freshman. Now as a sophomore, he's going to pick up his first foul. But what a 3-point shot to get Sewickley right back in this game, only down by 1.
It almost feels like, Damon, throughout this state tournament, even as convincing as the wins have been, the opening quarter has been a sluggish start for Sewickley.
McConnellsburg had a lead. A lot of the time Sewickley has not played behind this year other than that Pine Richland game and that Obama Academy game very early in the season. So Sewickley just not used to it, but I think these playoffs have really got them ready for it. They dominated the Whipple playoffs, but States, McConnellsburg gave them a really good look.
Unforced turnover there by Old Forge, so Sewickley sets up the offense, looking for their first lead of the contest. Steals with the near side. Drew moves it up top, Mamadou, and now to Battles. Battles bouncing over to Guyton, and now returning it to Mamadou and back to Drew Steele. Guyton, open look for a triple. Short, tipped off a few hands. Steele comes underneath, spins away, too high off the window. Another opportunity, it rims out. Battling down low and fouled is Adam Ikemba, and the Old Forge faithful not approving of the call.
Let's be honest, Matt, they've booed about every single call right there. They thought Drew Steele put his shoulder down, and now we're going to get a media timeout. But the Old Forge crowd has not liked any of the calls so far for Sewickley, but it will be Sewickley possession.
3:53 to go in the opening quarter of the PIAA 2026 2A Boys State Championship. Old Ford 6, Sewickley Academy 5. And the Panthers trail by 1 at the media timeout. And we keep it here with Sewickley Academy down by 1. And, you know, I think almost withstanding that first wave of emotion in a state championship game, you know, there's obviously a lot of excitement on the Old Ford side. Been a long time since one of their programs has been in a state championship. And then Sewickley is just, they're kind of about their business. That's kind of how it feels, at least to start this one.
Yeah, and they started out slow. You're only shooting 25% right now, 2 for 8, where Old Forge only has 2 field goals. They've got to the line. That's been their success so far in this game. But for Sewickley, we were just talking about that playoff run so far in this state finals now. I think it's really prepped them. I think they almost expected, okay, we might start out a little bit slow. Old Forge got the crowd in front of them. They have all that momentum winning that huge game against United. But you're only down by 1 point. And if you're shooting 25%, you know baskets are going to start falling for you. So you think you're in a really good spot right now.
Out of the timeout, Sewickley Academy basketball. That was the first foul charged to Old Forge, and it went to Krishnowski. Panthers have the basketball, trail by 1 out of the media. Steals, conducts traffic, gets a screen from Guyton. Back up top to Ikemba, and now battles. Mamadou. Guyton back up top of the key. Good ball movement here by the Panthers. Three on the way for Steele. Off the front of the rim, got his own rebound. Nice bounce pass to get it into Ikemba, but he lost it. Almost surprised Adam Ikemba out of bounds. Blue Devil basketball.
I think you're exactly right, Matt. I almost didn't expect that nice pass from Drew Steele, as now we'll see Eric Cracion come in for the first time, and Caden Battles will get a break.
A freshman, Eric Cracion, has produced so well off the bench, as so many of these Sewickley Academy Panthers have. It's a key in this game is the bench production. And, you know, Mike Angelino doesn't even like to call it that. They like it's the next 5. It's not bench versus starters. It's our next 5 guys as they produce a turnover here. Steals Mamadou to Cracion. Jameer Guyton on the right hand. Drives into the paint. Pulls it out. Whistles. And a foul.
Old Forge keeps wanting travels, but I really don't see it from Sewickley. They're just moving well with the basketball. Didn't see a pivot foot go up there.
Yeah.
An extra step. I think we're completely fine for Sewickley there.
Inbound goes up top to Guyton. And here's Eric Cracion. Deep 3. Rims out.
Like the confidence from the freshman, though, coming right in the game. Did the same thing in the semifinals as well.
Fanning clears away the board. 1 point advantage for the Blue Devils in the basketball here in the opening quarter of the state championship. 3 on the way. Does not fall in and out. Opportunity there for Parker, and he came up empty.
That's the guy you do not want to leave wide open.
Driving is Steele outside. Ikemba, and now to Guyton. Guyton with a man on him, dishes it away. Steals. Directs into Mamadou. Popped into the air and recovered by Mamadou Kane. As we're under 2 minutes to go. Still at 6-5. Inside, Mamadou. Contested, but uncontested as he gets the 2 in Sewickley's first lead of the ballgame.
And there's the most exciting matchup, Logan Fanning versus Mamadou Kane. They're playing man, but he'll stick back and wait for Mamadou or Ikemba to drive, try to get a shot block on it. Really good job by Mamadou Kane on the finish, and a nice steal by Drew Steele.
Yes, living up to the namesake in another nice pass, but Guyton couldn't catch up with it. And it goes and trickles out of bounds. Couple of these for both sides. The unforced turnover right back to Old Forge with 1:16 to go in the quarter.
Could be a little bit of nervousness again. These are high school kids playing at the Giants Center in a state final. And a lot of it, you're just rushing everything. You just need to settle in this game. See it right now in March Madness as well as these state finals, and every one of these matchups is now there's almost a mistake by Old Forge.
Almost a nice job by Parker to tightrope, but they end up turning it over anyway. It's Eric Kracian coming away with the ball, and he'll drive to the rack, and it pops out. Chased down by Ikemba, gave off to Guyton, who is up and fouled, and Guyton goes to the line.
Logan Fanning thought he got a clear block on it, but I think that hesitation by Jameer Guyton right there just gave him a little bit of a quick step on him, and Fanning got a little bit of that hand going up for that dunk.
Guyton at the line, misses his first.
What a physical battle we have so far. Both of these teams average over 60 points a game, and we're at 7-6 right now.
We're headed for that last time Old Forge.
We made fun of the 1932 matchup. That might be the winning score.
That 24-19 game. 8-6, 1-2 at the line for Jameer Guyton, 45 seconds to go here in the first. And it's Parker to his left. Getting the ball back on the wing. Parker drives amongst the trees, up and under move. Does it go? Falling down with it. And a foul called on Old Forge with 30 seconds to go. It will be Old Forge's fourth foul of this quarter.
And they're upset about it, but I mean, Kracian took a shot trying to get that defensive rebound, which he did. And shout out to Drew Steele, playing really good defense so far on Parker. That tough matchup. You know Sewickley's going to stay man-to-man pretty much the whole entire game, and you're facing a guy that's averaging over 25 points a game in the playoffs, as Connor Tall is going to check in for the first time for Jameer Guyton.
Nick Salerno picked up the second foul of the game for him, personal. The other two on Fanek and Krasnowski, respectively. 30 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Panthers, the ball in the lead. Tall, a triple. Doesn't fall. Rebound, out of bounds, off an Old Forge. Panthers retain possession with 17 seconds to go in the quarter.
Love that look for Tall. Pretty much the same we saw in the semifinals. Comes right in and attacks. That's exactly what you want from your bench here.
Inbound goes right into Ikemba. Triggered in from Tall, and Ikemba gets the two.
Tall does a really good job always finding the big guys underneath, especially on those inbound plays. Really easy 2 points for Sewickley when you need it.
Great on-ball defense, but a foul will be charged. Drew Steele's going to get his second of the quarter with 5 seconds to go. It'll be the fourth foul, so even in the foul department. 8 fouls in the first 8 minutes. Pretty aggressively called here by this officiating crew.
And as long as it's consistent, I think it's consistent so far on both sides. If you're not going to let them be aggressive, then don't let either team do it. I know Old Forge is not like some of these calls, but to me it's been 50-50 so far.
Inbound is triggered in from Chris Rasmus, thrown out of bounds.
And no time goes off, so now you have 5 seconds to try to get one more look if you're Sewickley. I'd look for Tall for a 3, or Caden Battles with his speed. I think he can get all the way to that free throw line and get a mid-range up.
5 seconds to go. Kracian will trigger it in right in front of the Sewickley Academy bench.
It is odd that Battles is now he starts creeping up. I was about to say, get as much.
They did make it down to 4.7. And they dish it in. Battles up and will send it in. How about it? Caden Battles. He had a couple extra seconds on the clock. He made sure it counted. And it does for the Panthers, 13-6, going to the second, thanks to the senior Caden Battles, draining a triple to end the first 8 minutes here from the Giant Center in Hershey. Sewickley Academy 13, Old Forge 6. The next 8 should be great. Come back with us on JRM Sports.
At Sewickley Academy, we blend a classical education with an eye towards the future. Growing up here, students benefit from continuous innovation and endless creativity, helping to build their character and confidence. Where they are free to experiment in an environment that encourages collaboration and sparks imagination. And where learning goes beyond the classroom walls, balancing structured academics with play-based experiences. Every student's interest is cultivated from the first day to inspire a lifelong love of learning, with guidance that fosters independence, goals, and skills. Growing up at Sewickley Academy means building a solid foundation for future growth and development, where students become who they're meant to be. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary.
Sewickley Academy basketball in the state championship here on JRM Sports with David McDermott, Matt Fargo, our JRM video production crew, bringing you the state title game here from the Giant Center. Panthers 13, Blue Devils 6 after 8. Happy to have you along in this 2A state title game. Panthers looking for title number 4, their program's history. Went back to 2017, the last time they got it done. Exciting first 8 minutes, Damon. What sticks out to you?
One thing, Old Forge only has 1 field goal made in this game, and Sewickley's only shooting 33%. But when you got seniors to lead on like Caden Battles, big shot from a big player right there, you win that first quarter by 7 points.
Kracion with the possession for the Panthers to start the second, misses a 3. And the Blue Devils clear away a rebound. That could have been insult to injury to start this second quarter. But the Panthers go back to work defensively. Down low to Fanning, who gets the 2. And their second field goal going off of your point. And that field goal you mentioned, Damon, was the first shot of the ball game. That was that 3 ball that Old Forge hit.
So you go pretty much 8 minutes without another field goal other than Parker driving to the lane.
Kracion for the far wing. Battles, returns the favor. Here's Rob Southall, foul line extended out to Tall. Tall dishes back into Rob. Rob off the window! Southall on the board. 15-8 Panther lead.
Tall picks up his second assist, and 2 guys that come off the bench have a lot of chemistry together. He knew he was going to cut right to the basket. Good job by Tall to drive and then find that inside cut.
3 on the way for Fanning. Clangs off the rim. Long rebound. Fanning gets his own. Throws it out to the far wing. For a 3. And it is drained. And Cameron Krasnowski hits the triple.
Any way they can get secondary scoring is a win. It is a 2-man show for Old Forge. When anybody else can chip in and get that pressure off of Parker and Fanning, it's a win.
Krasnowski hits the 3. 15-11. Mid-range for Mamadou Kane. Southall, a big board. Rob, a jump step and a block by Fanning. Blue Devils pick it up and push it up the floor. Krasnowski with it and hands it off to Parker. Parker pulls up for a 3. In and out. Southall, another board, this time on the defensive side.
He's only been in for 3 minutes, and he has 3 rebounds.
Southall to Kracion. Bounce pass to get it inside of Mamadou Kane. Outside to Tall. Returns the favor. 3 ball from the corner. Mamadou can't get it. Put back Kracion. Following and getting the 2 to fall.
Very interesting. Old Forge, they usually run man. Right now, to me, it looks like a box and one, so they're playing a little bit of zone. Mamadou Kane, they say you can take that 3, but they all watch him. Kracion crashes in, the freshman with a heads-up play to get an offensive rebound and a quick 2 points for Sewickley.
Far side wing. Controlled by Parker. Parker drives to the lane. Blocked out of bounds. Kracion with the rejection. The freshman with the block and says now he gets a breather.
What a job from the depth pieces for Sewickley. Like you said, there's a starting 5, and then there's our next starting 5. Kracion with a big block. Southall with 2 points and 3 rebounds, and Tall with 2 assists in this game so far.
Inbound goes to Parker. Parker hands it off to Krasnowski, who drives. Floater off the window, gets 2.
Krasnowski with the Marco Hurt averages 8.7 points per game, so he is that third scorer for Old Forge, and he's already got 6 in this game.
Mentioned Ryan DeMarco out with the injury. Suffered earlier in the postseason. And an offensive foul will turn the ball over for Sewickley.
That's the first one, Matt, I don't love. I think at Kimba sometimes you get called for some of these because how big you are down low. And right there, Old Forge, anyway, they're going to be able to take a shot and kind of dive. They get an extra possession right there. It's a heads-up play. If you're undersized down low in the post, do everything you can.
Foul prior to the shot.
We're seeing a lot of off-ball screens trying to spring Parker open. They almost got another look there before that foul.
I think that's the third one on Grimsley here. Sure is. Grimsley quickly right back out of this game.
Guyton back in, Steele's back in. Steele's already got 2 fouls too, though, so that's a little worrisome. And
fading away there for Parker, could not connect. Panthers back up the floor, leading 17-13. 4:35 to play in our second quarter of the state title. Ikemba to battles here in the near wing. Southall slices through, lost control of it, take it away. So Finelli takes it away there for the Blue Devils. 3 on the way. Krasnowski, no. One and done opportunity, as Battles will quietly bring it up the floor uncontested. Halfway through the second now. Thought about the catch and shoot 3. Battles will penetrate. Hand it off to Ikemba. Up strong. Rims out. Foul is called. Maybe the first time that was one of those, Damon, where I think the official was waiting to see if it went in or not to make the call. And
yeah,
it didn't go in, so it became a foul.
A little bit of a late whistle. I have no problem saying that. But at the same time, when you have Fanning, Kimba, Mamadou Kane, they're battling down low. It's been really physical. Eventually, you got to start calling a couple fouls right there. Kimba got caught on the arm as he went up. But it is interesting if he makes it. Is that whistle even blown? That's the tough part about being in a state final, being a ref. You can't second-guess yourself.
An immediate timeout at 3:55. Sewickley 17, Old Forge 13. And the history here in Hershey and the connection to basketball runs deep. 30 years ago this week, across the parking lot at Hershey Park Arena, a kid named Kobe Bryant won a state championship with Lowen Marion High School, and then 8 days later was in Pittsburgh for the McDonald's All-American game at the Civic Arena. But 30 years ago, Kobe Bryant and Lower Marion High School became a state champion. It's kind of bizarre to think about, just across the parking lot that took place. And then if you want to dig a little bit deeper into the history of Hershey and going on the professional ranks, 64 years ago, just a few weeks ago, Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points at Hershey Park Arena. 100 points for the Philadelphia Warriors as he took down the New York Knicks in a 169-147 victory. He scored 100 of the 169.
And we just saw Bam get 83. And to think 17 more points when there wasn't a three-point line, what was he doing in that game? And all that history just shows you how much greatness is here up in Hershey and how much of a privilege it is to play at the Giants Center here. You can feel it as soon as you walk in and how excited everybody is to watch these state finals games as Ikemba makes his first free throw.
First one is up and good for Adam Ikemba. What a semifinal he had. Dominating performance in that win over Mercyhurst Prep.
Getting 16 points. A guy that's usually known for his blocks and rebounds really was a big part of that victory.
19-13, Sewickley Academy with a 6-point lead. But, boy, does it feel more comfortable than that. And that's something the Panthers need to keep an eye on, because Old Forge is hanging around in this game and doing exactly what they need to do, which is keep this thing close. Timeout is called, and this one has Mike Izzolino beside himself. That ball was far from any possession, and they give Old Forge the timeout, their first time out of the ball game, but that was going to be Sewickley Academy possession, no doubt.
It really was, and I think both coaches might get a warning here soon. J.J. Thomas for Old Forge and Mike Izzolino, they're both animated, but at the same time, you are demanding the very best calls you can get. As you see right here, possession is lost right there. I feel like the timeout was called as the pass was thrown because his coach, J.J. Thomas, I think had a bad feeling, like there is nobody there for that backdoor cut. And right there, you just got to keep letting it play. Sewickley should have possession right now. Old Forge steals one.
And in a two-possession game, 3:29 to go in this first half. Every possession matters.
It's tight for this whole game right now. Both teams shooting 33%, 4 for 12 for Old Forge, 7 for 21 so far for Sewickley. Good news for Sewickley, you already have 7 different scorers in this game, where Old Forge only has 3. We talked about Krasnowski. Fanning only has 3, and Parker is 1 for 6. So you're doing exactly what you want to do so far defensively for Sewickley Academy.
Well, out of the timeout, let's see what the Blue Devils come up with out of that 30-second timeout. It's a 3-ball. Krasnowski cannot come up with it. Easy return there for Mamadou Kane. Steals and out of battles. Guyton feeds inside. Double team and a foul. Hard foul there as Ikemba hacked. And Cameron Callegro going to pick up, the sophomore going to pick up this foul.
Something to keep your eye on. They're going to have to sub him right back out. They just tried to give Fanning a quick breather, and they foul Ikemba and Mamadou right away. So their bench is usually not this deep, but you're just trying everything you can to give these guys little breaks when you can.
Guyton. And battles back over to Jameer, inside of Mamadou, outside once again. Kane at the foul line, pulls up at the elbow, doesn't go. Ikemba, a nice board offensively, out to Steels. 3-ball is good from Drew Steels.
The sophomore, I call him Mr. Big Shot every time you need one. Somehow he gets open for a 3. We saw it his freshman year here, and now his sophomore year has really put everyone on notice how talented he is as a guard.
Driving through everyone and earning a trip to the line, Cameron Parker just decided to run the gauntlet himself. Kane picks up the foul. .227 to go in our second quarter. And converting is Cameron Parker, the senior, averages 17.9 points per game. Leading scorer for this Blue Devils squad.
And what a legendary run he's been on. It's almost like March Madness where you lean on one guard. You shoot 11 for 11 from the free throw line in that semifinal game, 36 points. As DeMarco goes down, you needed someone to step up, and Parker's that star player, but when you know it's almost all on you and you score half your team's points in a semifinal matchup against an undefeated team, what an effort by Parker.
Yeah, 64-48 win over United in that game for Old Forge and for Parker. 22-15, far side, Kane spins by separation into Ikemba, count it, and a foul for Ikemba.
And this is where Old Forge is struggling. Fanning can only guard one 6'8" giant down low here at the Giant Center. And he's doing a really good job. He has 3 blocks on the game. But Mamadou Kane and Ikemba do such a good job of finding each other. What an inside pass right there to give it to Ikemba. Nobody's selfish on this Sewickley team. You can see that from the starting 5 and the bench pieces.
Rims out of the 3-point play. But a 9-point advantage, biggest lead for the Panthers of the afternoon. Friday matinee here at the Giant Center. Parker contested and dishes it away.
Got to give the defensive props, the battles and steals so far. Parker just has nowhere to go.
Parker decides on the baseline, fades away, and splashes that one with battles in his hip pocket.
Matt, I say all the time, there's high school buckets, then there's big man buckets. Right there, you have a defender in your face. that is a contested jump shot that you're comfortable with on the baseline.
Guyton swings it over to Kane and out of Battles. Battles drives outside Guyton, catch and shoot three off the rim. Rebound and a foul. And it will be a foul on Old Forge, and they're beside themselves once again, and maybe beating a horse dead on that one.
Yeah, they wanted an over the back call, but I thought Parker just did not let Mamadou Kane enough space to get that rebound. I think it's a good call. Again, you're undersized, you're doing everything you can, but you got to give him at least enough space to get that rebound.
That's Parker's first personal. Fourth on the team. Minute to go here in the first half. Kane from three, offline. Old Forge possession with 54 seconds to go.
It's a win for Old Forge. Mamadou Kane has extended his shooting range, has made a bunch of three-pointers this year, but Old Forge is saying, we're not going to let him drive on us tonight. He can take that shot.
Guyton on Parker. To his left, Krasnowski. Fanning thought about the three, hands off Parker. Parker guarded by Guyton. Now Fanning with it. 34 seconds. Suffinelli. Fanning, left side, drives, kicks. Suffinelli thought about it. Now it's a three. Krasnowski, no. Rebound to Mamadou Kane. 16 seconds to go in the quarter. We saw what happened there for Caden Battles to end the first. Does he have another one in him? Battles with four. Hands off Kane. Cracion with two. Cracion pulls up at the buzzer. Off the front of the rim and off the mark. And that's the way the first 16 minutes and our state championship game comes to a close. Sewickley Academy 24, Old Forge 17. The Panthers lead the Blue Devils and the PIAA 2A state championship by 7.
What a first half for both teams. We'll break it down here in a couple minutes, but Sewickley Academy, you got to be happy being up by 7 points, and you've limited Old Forge to only shoot 33%. Parker has 9, Fanning has 3, and for Sewickley Academy, you have 8 different scorers so far in this game. You've done everything you can in the first half to go in with a 7-point lead.
We'll break it down for you, the first half analysis and highlights on the back half of this break, and we'll get you ready for the next 16 minutes of the PIAA Boys 2A State Championship live from the Giant Center in the sweetest place on earth, Hershey, Pennsylvania. Continuing coverage of the state title rolls on here on JRM Sports.
At Sewickley Academy, a lifelong love for learning is sparked from day one, preparing students for college and beyond. Students are encouraged to think and learn independently and cooperatively, while having the flexibility to pursue their own interests across academics, athletics, and the arts. With small class sizes and a strong sense of community, students from the middle school to the senior school learn the value of collaboration and understanding. Regardless of age, Sewickley Academy students gain the confidence to lead, inspire, and excel. And every experience along the way shapes their future, allowing them to build the skills and character necessary to succeed. At Sewickley Academy, becoming a lifelong learner is becoming the best version of yourself. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary.
We are back to the Giants Center. It is halftime where the Panthers of Sewickley Academy lead 24-17 over Old Forge with Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo with you. And Damon, Panthers a 7-point lead in the first 16. How do they make sure they have the lead after the next?
I think for them, you got to take care of the basketball. We saw them a little bit nervous early on, but I really think going to the bench early helped them out, kind of settle them into this game. You're only shooting 33%. Good news, so is Old Forge. You put up 4 more field goals than them, and your 3-point shooting, you got 3 makes so far. And lastly, that rebounding battle, Matt. 20 rebounds so far for Sewickley. Drew Steele, the guard, has 5. Mamadou Kane has 4. Old Forge only has 10 rebounds, and they only have 3 assists. Again, they only have 3 scorers in this game, where Sewickley has spread it out in this one, having 8 guys already on the score sheet. So again, trust that bench. Give some breaks to those starters when you can. Keep out rebounding Old Forge, and I think you're going to win this game up by 7 right now going into the third quarter.
Yeah, the fact Sewickley has 11-2 in offensive rebounds, really dominating the glass in both departments, but really giving themselves extra opportunities in the offensive department with 11 offensive rebounds coming in to the second half of play. Missed shot off a few hands of Sewickley and then ripped away. Jump ball will send it the way of Sewickley to get things going here in the third.
And Old Forge, they just look a little bit uncomfortable when they drive. You have Parker, you have Fanning, but nobody else can really get their offensive game going. Krasnowski has 5, but when those two can't create something off the dribble, it really stalls out for Old Forge.
3 ball from the corner for opportunity there. A put back by Adamy Kimba after the miss there from Grimsley.
So you just talked about it, offensive rebounds. Any way you can get second chance points in this game is going to be a huge deal. Now there's a steal and a dunk on the other side for Adamy Kimba.
Battles to Ikemba to get the 2, and it's the largest lead for the Panthers now at 11. And a travel called in the backcourt. Travel on Parker that sends it back the way of the Panthers one more time, and we're just 58 seconds into this third quarter, and the Panthers starting to get the Blue Devils to unravel a little bit here.
And it's that press. In the first quarter, they looked like it was okay. That second and now the third, just like against McConnellsburg and Mercyhurst Prep. The press in the second half really gives a lot of team fits.
Ikemba hands off to Adamy Kimba, gets the dunk back-to-back. Slams there for Adamy Kimba. Nice dish from Kane. Driving now is Parker. Parker off balance shot, doesn't fall. Panthers pulling away, looking for more. Grimsley slows it down to Battles.
Don't you get the sense Parker starts to feel like he has to do everything for this Old Forge team? That was a really tough layup you try to make.
Battles to Kane. Bouncing Ikemba. Kind of volleyballed that one over to Grimsley. Got it rejected. Fanning fans that one out of bounds. But it will go out of bounds off of the Blue Devils, so Sewickley keeps it.
And that's what's so impressive from Logan Fanning. He averages 3 blocks a game, and right now he's got 3 blocks. He's doing everything he can defensively, but again, offensively for Old Forge, it has been a struggle. There is a reason why this is the best defense in the whole entire state, only giving up 30.5 points per game. Remember, that Roseau Catholic game, they gave up over 60 points. That's the only reason why that average even got to 30. They held a lot of teams under 25 this year.
Yeah, that 30.2 points per game, the fewest of any of the WPIAL's 132 basketball teams. It's been that good. It's been historically good defense. And, you know, while Sewickley not necessarily has needed to put out the offensive firepower, they're certainly capable of it. I think that Roseau Catholic game showed you if they did face a team that was going to score against them, they could go back and forth just as easily. It's just they've relied more on their defense, and if you don't need to score 70, 80 points, then don't.
And what's so impressive to me is they're playing man. They're just switching. It's amazing how all 5 of these positions on the court, Akimba and Kane, they can guard a point guard or a shooting guard for a limited period of time if they need to. The lateral quickness of the Sewickley team is so impressive.
Fed down low, and Akimba could not catch up to that pass inside, out of bounds. And it's also a testament to the job that Mike Izzolino's done at the head coach position. Of course, in his second season, former assistant at Robert Morris University, career in the NBA and overseas, and another steal by Steals, escorted ahead to Battles.
He's just always in your back pocket. You think you beat him, and he just catches right back up to you and swipes it away. Never gives up on a play.
Just a sophomore. There's another one, and Kane, just a sophomore. It's the scary part about this Sewickley Academy squad is there is a lot of youth on it. You got Steals, Kane, and Akimba, all underclassmen out there, the two seniors out there in Battles in Grimsley. Great story for Lucas Grimsley, what he's overcome and battled through. Here's Grimsley on cue, trying to get the three, cannot.
So we've talked about it, the journey this team has been on for a lot of these seniors. They've been used to losing in the last 2 years. Last year was a surprise run. Now this year, you're up by 13, trying to get that state title.
Fading away and offline there for Parker. Saved out of bounds, but only saved to the Panthers. Yeah, finishing that thought, Damon. I mean, you go back to the 6 seasons prior to last year. They won 36 games in those 6 years. They've almost won 30. If they win today, that will be 30 just in this season. Talk about the difference. I mean, a lot of people have a lot to say about what Sewickley's done in the last 2 years, but I didn't hear anybody complaining about what they did the 6 years prior.
Yeah, not to beat up on teams, but a team like Jeanette that beat them in the semifinals last year by 20, then they complain about them this year because a lot of these underclassmen have got so much better. And I think the seniors, give them props. Caden Battles, Lucas Grimsley, Amari Spencer, they've got so much better that they've just developed into such a good team now that you can see they're playing best on best, and they're up by 13, and Old Forge just has no answers right now for Sewickley Academy.
And a timeout by Mike Izzolino, 3:41 to go here in the third. And he wants to talk things over because we just watched a little bit of a battle of bricks, starting to become a masonry convention out there between these two. And Mike Izzolino had seen enough, wants to talk things over because, again, while Sewickley has pulled away 30-17, it's far from unsurmountable for Old Forge, and now you just need the Panthers to lock in possession by possession, really what they've done all season long. They've let the outside world talk about it. They let us talk about getting to the Whippeals, getting to the state championship, the high expectations, but they have taken it possession by possession, and it does seem in a lot of ways for how young this group is, they seem very unfazed in playing in a state championship game in terms of the pressure.
Yeah, I think they did a good job this regular season playing tough teams. Obama Academy made it to 4A state championship. You played a Pine Richland 6A school, so you've been in some of these tough battles this year. And the biggest thing, Matt, when you can lean on your defense at all times, it makes offense so much less stressful when you look at the clock. Oh, we only given up 17 points so far in this game.
Battles pure from the near side wing. Caden Battles. There's one of those seniors getting his rightful opportunity there, almost taken away. Parker pulls up for an answer. That is not. Kane pulls down another board. Mamadou gives it away to Steals.
Pass almost gave Mike Izzolino a heart attack there for a second. A little no-look by Mamadou up to Drew Steals, and now they're going to just settle in here. Up by 16, 3 minutes to go. Especially if Old Forge is not going to pressure the basketball. They finally are now.
Yeah, time is the friend of Sewickley Academy. Of course, the shot clock will not come to Pennsylvania high school basketball until the 28-29 school year. That's been approved, but still some time between now and then before we'll see the shot clock instituted. Battle slices through. Akimba from the foul line extended, no. Mamadou hook shot rolls in.
We're up to 27 rebounds for Sewickley and only 12 for Old Forge. You're never going to lose a game, in my opinion, when you're doubling another team in rebounds.
Now that field goal percentage moving up for Sewickley at 37%, and Old Forge down to 26%. Sewickley 4 of 14 from three-point range. Old Forge, they've got here with the success of their three-point shooting ability. It's not been there today. 2 of 10 from long range here this afternoon. So struggling at the media timeout, 35-17. Sewickley Academy leading Old Forge here in the third.
Yeah, and I think it's more of a testament to Sewickley's defense. They just make it so uncomfortable on you. They know going in they had to defend Cameron Parker. He's 2 for 10, 1 for 4 from the three-point line. But another thing to note, it's been hard for him to get, or 1 for 4 from the three-point line, and it's been hard for him to get to the free throw line. Good job by Drew Steele and Caden Battles. And so far, nobody else has really taken a shot for Old Forge. Krasnowski is 2 for 5. Logan Fanning is 1 for 3. Askew is 0 for 1. So other than that, they've only had 4 players even attempt a shot in this game. And for Sewickley, when you have so much talent everywhere, you can key in on those 3 guys and make somebody else try to make a shot for Old Forge.
Sewickley Academy 29-1 this season. And man, you think back at what the thought process was from Mike Izzolino and adding that Roselle Catholic game, the final game of the regular season, a defending state champion from New Jersey. They lose in overtime, but, you know, Mike Izzolino's history as a high school basketball player had an undefeated team until the state semifinals at Altoona, and they were upset a game shy of the state championship here at the Giants Center, and almost have to have a feeling he was avoiding what could be there as Fanning gets the 2 inside. But he didn't want almost the pressure. Sure, that would have been great if they would have won that game, but I think the loss almost took pressure of a perfect season off of the Panthers.
And it doesn't hurt when you can make kids realize, hey, we're beatable no matter what. That makes the playoff run a little bit easier for everybody to be locked in.
Guyton moves it to Kane. Bouncing over to Steele. Steele's to Tall. Tall feeds down. Chased down by Guyton over on the far side. Delay ball here by the Panthers, and they're content with it. Another pass fed inside and knocked out of bounds by Fanning.
You see the pressure trying to trap the ball handler for Sewickley, but so far a really good job pretty much playing with the clock and not rushing yourselves. Take a perfect opportunity or just keep milking it down as you are up by 16 points with only a minute to go in the third quarter.
Guyton to Tall. Tall gets a screen from Kane, hands off to Ikemba. Guyton and Kane, and now Steals. Delay game for the Panthers. Very content to wind this clock down here in the third frame. Tall wants a 3. He's got one! And the state title game, Connor Tall's first triple.
We've seen it all year coming off the bench. He's automatic from the 3. Good shot by Connor Tall, and you milk about a minute off the clock as well.
Floater in the lane doesn't fall for Krasnowski. Back outside for a 3 is good, answered on the other end. It was Art Askew hitting his first 3 of the game as well. And a timeout taken with 11 seconds to go in the third, and an interesting timeout taken by Old Forge is now they're down to 2. And with 11 seconds to go in the third, I don't know what the thought process that is there to take the timeout, but maybe they're trying to get a steal and a possession here going into the fourth quarter, trailing 38-22.
The only thing I can think of is for Old Forge, J.J. Thomas is saying, hey, we just got it back to 16 off of that 3. We need one more stop that's going to the fourth quarter, down by 16, or we try to get another 2 points. But kind of agree with you here, but at the same time, I would argue this might be the closest the game gets So every possession matters right now for Old Forge. So maybe that's the thought process with only 11 seconds left in the third quarter. And we've seen some last-second points from Sewickley. Caden battles with that huge three in the first quarter. They got another good opportunity in the second quarter as well from Eric Cracion. So just want to make sure you defend as good as possible for this last possession for Sewickley Academy.
Last time Old Forge led in this game, it was 6-5. That was a minute and 34 seconds in the first. Since then, it's been all Panthers. Largest lead for Sewickley was 38-19, so a little bit of a run here by Old Forge. Let's see if the Panthers know it's taken away by Fanning. Fanning thought about the three, moved it outside, asked you for a three. No, he decided to pull it down. It's good if it goes. No, the three is off line from Robbie Sonafelli. The senior misses the three, and that's the way the third comes to a close. Here from the Giant Center in Chocolate Town, USA. Panthers high and gold, 8 minutes to go. They lead at 38-22 on JRM Sports.
Growing up at Sewickley Academy, every single step is a giant leap towards extraordinary, where students are excited about school and develop a love for learning. Our early childhood students begin their adventure here in a world of discovery and wonder, building, creating, and stretching their imaginations, sharing curiosities, and kindness. We help each child with routines that build self-confidence. We lean into learning through exploration, allowing time to observe, question, and reflect. Through personalized attention, we see firsthand what excites them to learn and create lessons from the things they're most interested in, exploring new vocabulary to help communicate thoughts, developing math skills to problem solve, and even discovering talents and passions. Many steps are taken each day, and we make every one count. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary.
38-22 as we go to the fourth in the Giant Center. Sewickley Academy leads Old Forge and the boys 2A state title game in 2026 with David McDermott, Matt Fargo, our JRM video production crew, bringing you the sights and sounds from the sweetest place on earth. And 8 minutes away, David, Sewickley looking for state title number 4.
It's going to get nerve-wracking, but when you got a 16-point lead, you kind of are just looking at that clock like, please just go a little bit faster. But they know what happened last year. Linville Hill, out of nowhere, started going off in that game, battling back, so you never know. I feel like if you get under 4, you're still up by 16 points, then you start feeling a little bit better. But right now, it's just one possession at a time.
They had an 8-point lead in the fourth quarter against Linville Hill last year, and saw it dwindle down. And the Linville Hill comeback cemented in the memories of these young basketball players that want to be remembered as champions this afternoon.
And Sewickley wants to end their story in 2A, as they'll be moving up to 4A next year. You got to win that title before you leave. Again, we talked to Mamadou Kane, we talked to coaches this year. Last year, we keep talking about it, but it was more of a surprise they got here. This year, it's expected, and before we leave 2A, they want to leave Chocolate Town, USA with some gold around their necks.
Almost a steal by Steels, and Old Forge gets the possession, and a big three drained by Parker. I beg your pardon, Cameron Krashanowski got the three. See what the Panthers come up with offensively. Will they stay with the delay game? Try to dwindle this clock down more. Battles almost got that poked away. Kimba was right place, right time to get that one. Here's Kane, one dribble in the paint. Kane up strong, got the roll. Mamadou Kane.
Going against Fanning again. Old Forge running the travel. I just think it was really nice footwork down low from the big man. It's been a fun matchup to watch all night long. The shot blocker, as we get a huge block right there on cue.
Beautifully done by Kane. Backing it out is Battles. Mamadou, far side wing. Controlled there. Guarded by Parker, and a foul. Or a timeout. Sewickley Academy takes the timeout with 6:44 to go here and a 15-point lead, 40-25.
Old Forge giving them a couple different looks. You're seeing a full court press by them, and they're double teaming whoever has the ball a lot more in this game as well. So I think Coach Isolino just wants to go over a couple of things. And the biggest thing right now is Old Forge has to battle the clock, and they're down by 15. And if you're Sewickley, just take care of that basketball. And any way you can get the most successful looks you can, download a Mamadou Kane or Anna McKimba. I think that's where you want to go here with 6:44 to go. But, Matt, we're getting ever so more close to Sewickley getting that 2A state championship. I think this timeout, too, might just calm everybody down a little bit. Like, okay, we still got a lot of time left in this game. I know maybe me and you get a little bit too excited, but these players, again, we're talking about teenagers, even these seniors, they want to win one, and they're so close now, but you still got to take care of business for these last 6 minutes and change.
And they know it, getting to the point 357 days ago on this very floor and wanting it to end differently this time around against the Blue Devils from Old Forge. 6:44 to go here in the fourth. 40-25, Panthers advantage. No team has scored 40 points in the state tournament against Sewickley Academy, and that well in hand in this one.
That's some good research, partner. You got 38, 39, but nobody did get to that 40 number.
Steals, Kane, Guyton.
And that's been the magical number of success for Sewickley. We always hear if we can keep them under 40, we have a really good chance of winning this game.
Greg Sircone told us that. And that errant pass, nobody home for that one. And Mike Isolino trying to move on. And great coaching staff. We talked about it all season long. And, of course, led by Mike Isolino. But some great guys on the bench that do the day-to-day practices and keep encouraging these young men as Kane gets the board, leads it up to battles back to Kane, and a count it for Mamadou. Three-point play coming here for Kane.
We got an injury for Old Forge after that play as well.
Talking about that assistant coaching staff, Trey Woodall, of course, Pitt legend, Greg Sircone and Mike Fitzgerald.
If we had a 4, we'll put Mike in there, a 4-on-4 of all the coaching staffs in the state of Pennsylvania, they still can shoot it. I know they can. They don't like talking about it, but as we
talk about what that coaching staff did at the collegiate, at the high school, and the professional levels.
Spencer Witt, one of our co-workers, also mentioned Coach Mike Isolino is an NBA Jam. Who can say that?
Yes.
That is unbelievable. So there's a reason why these kids listen to whatever he says. He saw it all, played for the Dallas Mavericks, played overseas. Great career coaching at the collegiate level. And this is, I think a lot of people thought a retirement job, but you can see he is excited every single day to coach these young men.
Krasnowski hands off Fanning. Soffinelli back to Krasnowski. Trying to keep this, keep switching off on the screens up top. Get an open look for a three, and great defense by the Panthers.
Remember, Parker got injured on that last possession.
Three that's offline there from Krasnowski. Panthers pull it down as the clock winds towards 5 minutes. Almost, and it was, according to the Zebra. Looked like Drew Steele might have had a basketball length between him and the sideline. That one was right in front of the Sewickley bench.
Nice to see Cameron Parker will come back in the game for Old Forge after taking Some contact underneath the hoop.
Parker. Saffanelli. Back inside. Parker back out. Salerno, yes, for a three. A much-needed one for the Blue Devils. Timeout. Old Forge. 4:45 to go, and Blue Devils, albeit they need a comeback, but it's not an unsurmountable one, especially if they could get the threes to start falling the way that they have here in the second half.
Yes,
they had two coming in to this third quarter.
Yeah, and they get three so far, and I think the key moment is Parker's back in the game. It just gives you someone that can really take care of their basketball and be able to make plays when they can.
James Harrison in the building. Debo rooting on the Panthers. He's been at a bunch of games this year, as has a lot of current and former Pittsburgh Steelers taking a liking to this Panthers squad.
Saw Big Ben at the Whipple Championships.
Yes. So a good friend of the program, Charlie Batch, was in the house as well.
Why not? You're probably seeing, I would say, as the Trib put him as #1 and all the Whipple over the 6A, Upper St. Clair and all these. You might be looking at the best basketball team in the whole entire state, no matter classification.
Yeah, it's a wonder that the powers that be can't put all 6 boys state champions in one more bracket and determine a true state champion.
That would be a lot of fun, and I think Coach Isolino would be game for it. I think they would all love to see this team versus anybody as they're up by 15. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, though. You never know what can happen, but Sewickley's passed every test so far in this one.
Kane looking for more. Tip, no, but he gets his own rebound. We're trying to recycle it, and nicely done there as Steele was able to reset it back out to Battles.
Rebounding battle now 31-15.
Battles almost lost it and is fouled.
They want a jump ball, but, I mean, you just can't hug a guy at the free throw line. I know Old Forge brought their whole town with them, and I agree that you're playing hard, but you can't just hug a guy at the free throw line and say, hey, that's a jump ball.
Coming up on the 4-minute mark, next dead ball will take us to our final media. Kane and Battles, they catch.
One of the most athletic games to keep away I've ever seen is now we finally get a jump ball.
There's the tie-up. Arrow, though, in favor of the Panthers, so they'll have the possession as the media 3:45. And we'll step aside. We'll come back with the waning moments of the state championship here on JRM Sports. Sewickley leads it 43-28.
At Sewickley Academy, we blend a classical education with an eye towards the future. Growing up here, students benefit from continuous innovation and endless creativity, helping to build their character and confidence. Where they are free to experiment in an environment that encourages collaboration and sparks imagination. And where learning goes beyond the classroom walls, balancing structured academics with play-based experiences. Every student's interest is cultivated from the first day to inspire a lifelong love of learning, with guidance that fosters independence, goals, and skills. Growing up at Sewickley Academy means building a solid foundation for future growth and development, where students become who they're meant to be. Sewickley Academy, intentionally extraordinary.
PIAA State Championship from the sweetest place on earth. Sewickley Academy faithful approving this one so far. 43-28, 3:45 to play. Back with Damon McDermott, Matt Fargo, bringing you this one from the Giant Center. Panthers had the arrow, so they have the ball out of the media timeout. Guyton with it on the near side boundary. And a foul, blocking foul as Guyton sent the defender flying. And that's Salerno getting caught with the foul. There is a Pittsburgh connection as we get another timeout here. Pittsburgh connection between Old Forge High School and the Steel City. Chuck Chirandolo was a 10-year NFL veteran at linebacker, played for the Cleveland Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Philadelphia Eagles. He was actually selected to the Pittsburgh Steelers' 75th anniversary team as the team's center, and was a two-time All-Star in the National Football League and a graduate of Old Forge.
Matt, once again, you beat me on the storied research. I will say the one connection I found as well is Old Forge only has one state title. They played for one other one in 2013 playing against North Catholic. So they at least know one other WPIAL opponent, but they're going for their second ever. In any sport, they have one basketball championship in 1932. Lost to North Catholic in 2013, known as one of the better schools on the east side for football as well in the state of Pennsylvania.
Well, there's another connection for
here
Chuck.
We go. He's going to beat me again.
He played in that 1932 state championship game. How cool is that? He graduated in 1933.
For everybody listening,
How about that?
I don't love to give Matt credit all the time, but I think he wins today.
No.
I'll let him win today on the research. But
you know I
never
love the
know.
history.
The WPIAL, the PIAA, it is amazing how there is a connection on no matter what school. We did Winburn in the first round last year and found so many connections to Sewickley and the WPIAL.
Fun to find it, as that one is going to be out of bounds on Sewickley. So Old Forge possession, 3:21 to go, and Panthers just have to be looking up at that clock more and more as this clock winds down. Fanning to the rack and fouled. Mamadou got a little bit too much of Logan Fanning.
That's been such a fun matchup. Fanning, 6'7", going against guys his own size for once. First time he noted it in the local paper. I've never played someone bigger than me in our conference, so it's been an adjustment for him. But he has 3 blocks on the night. Not as many points as he wants. He actually has 4 blocks. But Akimba, Mamadou Kane, it looks like they're all trying to one-up each other. Who can get the biggest swat by the end of this game?
Fanning splashes another one in. And the lead's 13. Battles fouled. That will be the 4th team foul against Old Forge here in the 4th.
I'd love a nice offensive possession here from Sewickley. I know that you've been milking some of the clock here, watching it go down. You're going to win this game, but at the same time, now Old Forge has the smallest deficit we've seen since the second quarter at 13. So they are slowly but surely getting back into this game with this type of on-ball pressure right here, and they're going to get another jump ball.
Arrow favors the Panthers one more time.
But it seems like for Sewickley, they don't want to take any shot right now.
No.
If you have an open shot, still take it, in my opinion. You're up by 13. And Lucas Grimsley getting back in the game is another good thing for Sewickley. Let it in the seniors' hands as Caden Battles will take a much-needed break as well.
Guyton to Kane. Mamadou. Mama does with the two-handed jam.
That's the possession Sewickley needed. An easy 2 points. Get to the big guy down low.
Fading away, beautifully done. Krisnowski.
When DeMarco got hurt, Krisnowski has really stepped up. Good job by Lucas Grimsley right there to save
Saving that one, yep. Let it ahead. Nicely done. Bucket and the foul. Mamadou Kane. Take a trip around. Getting high fives from everybody.
There's one man on this court so far. As you see literally a jersey getting ripped on the replay we got it from the Giants Center. I'll get it to you as well. But there's a reason why there's one man on the court right now with a Division I offer. I think there's going to be many more, but right now he has a Duquesne offer, and he's going to get, I think, another 10. He's been the talk of social media all around Pittsburgh. I think it's been his coming out party this year. Mamadou Kane with an and one, as Old Forge is now getting some standing O's, as
Salerno
is out of the game. He's been a defensive specialist on this team. Again, all 5 starters are seniors, so they embrace each other. As what, Mamadou Kane misses the first. Oh, that was a flagrant.
Yep. Misses both. But a cool moment for the Old Forge faithful as they huddle up and had a moment with their head coach, J.J. Thomas. There's Mamadou Kane adding to it.
And for Old Forge, what they've been through this year, you lose Ryan DeMarco. They also lost a youth coach that coached all of them this year when they were younger, and they were playing for him as well. And they were a team that looked unbeatable. You beat a 30-0 United team by 16 points, but it just shows you how good Sewickley is this year. Again, they haven't lost to a PIAA opponent since Linville Hill.
3 that's missed there by Steele. And pushed back up by Krishnowski, and he missing the layup. Tip-in is good, and a foul, sending Fanning to the line. Minute 40 to go. And a line change that will be a bow for these seniors at Old Forge. Getting to the state championship for the first time in 94 years. Will live in Old Forge athletics history for a long time.
What a senior class again, all 5 starters. Parker will end his career here with over 1,000 points. Fanning won Defensive Player of the Year in the Lackawanna Conference this year. Both of them having such big semifinal games, and the rest of them, they acknowledged their role players, but they did exactly what they needed to do for this team. What a run, and you're going to get, thought maybe a timeout, but one last sub. So you let Logan Fanning out of this game as well, but a very good opponent for Sewickley, too. They're going to end up winning this game by 20 points, but all the playoff matchups, Sewickley dominated. I think there was many parts of this game where Old Forge gave Sewickley everything they could handle.
No question, and J.J. Thomas doing it the right way with the curtain call for his seniors. 49-35 advantage, and a foul there.
And it's good to see Amari Spencer get in the game as well for
No doubt.
Sewickley Academy. Battled a couple injuries and
an unselfish young man. You mentioned the injury, and then coming off the bench after having a starting role much of last season and early into this season, opening the door for Drew Steeles to come in, and just an unselfish young man. It's so many of these young men. It's the most impressive part about, in this day and age with NIL and all of the me ball that is played in basketball, both at the high school levels and all the way up to the professional ranks, to see young teenagers be so unselfish when they could be the star somewhere else, and some of them are coming off the bench for this program. It's a testament to the young men that they will be well after their basketball playing days are over.
And that's what it's all about. I know they're about to win a state championship. Amazing school Sewickley is, and this coaching staff. A lot of these guys could go somewhere and average 20 points. We talk about Rob Southall coming off the bench, Connor Tall coming off the bench, Jameer Guyton, Drew Steeles. He had to wait a long time to be a starter on this team, where I think he'd be one of the best players in the WPIAL if he was playing somewhere else, averaging 25 points per game. Again, it is so amazing watching them all work together and just work to a common goal that they're 50 seconds away from achieving.
50 seconds it is, 51-35. Spencer, he's looking for points, jumping into the lane, and he'll go to the line to try to earn them.
He did it in the semifinal game. He said, hey, if you're going to put me in, I'm going to score. I know we can dribble this out, but I want a couple state championship points, and I don't blame him one bit.
Amari Spencer, one of these great seniors, part of this great senior group that's been through so much. We noted it earlier in the broadcast. Caden Battles, Amari Spencer, Lucas Grimsley. Get some substitutions. Here comes Chris Tull.
Gets a high five from his brother on the way in. He's super excited checking the game as we get a lot of these younger guys coming in for Sewickley Academy now, which is great to see.
Carson D'Antonio checks in for the Panthers as well. Off the mark. Aiden Aversa. Conan Merkin in for Old Forge. And foul.
Isaac Samari's come in the game. You have Eric Cracion, another freshman, into the game. We know he gets his spurts too off the bench. Ibrahim Conte has checked in the game. So I love both coaches saying, hey, I want everybody to get a chance to get a little bit of playing time in this state championship game. You'll never forget it.
No, to play at this level, to get to the final game of the schedule in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, it is an accomplishment. And the memories you make on the road to get here are the thing that I've noticed, and talking to teams 10 and now 20 years later, it's the things you remember on the road to get here. Maybe not even actually winning or getting to the championship, but the road. It is that cliche of it's not the destination, it's the journey. And for Sewickley to have the journey a season ago and then to get back to the destination and come away on the right side of things, not a lot of teams get that opportunity. They say it, but it doesn't always work out that way. For the Panthers, it's going to. Isaac Sumari with it. Conte. D'Antonio, and they will count this one down. Down to 5 seconds. Fading away. Clock will wind to 0. And the team on top of the state of Pennsylvania in 2A is strictly Sewickley. 52-36. Sewickley Academy, state champions. And basketball, once again, the program's 4th state title coming back to Sewickley.
After heartbreak last year, Matt, and waiting 9 years total, Sewickley Academy is back on top. We talked to multiple players and coaches. Coach Mike Izzolino, Mama Duquesne talked about the heartbreaker last year, losing by 1 point and having a possession to win that game. You come back this year, you learn so much. You lean on your seniors, but your underclassmen did a phenomenal job this year as well, and you dominate the WPIAL playoffs, the state playoffs, and you are a WPIAL and state champion this year. What a way to cap off your 2A career, now moving up to 4A.
The sight set 357 days ago when they lost to Linville Hill, and now revenge satisfied here in Chocolate Town. And a sweet treat for the Sewickley Academy basketball program, who is now on top of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in boys 2A, and a 52-36 victory. Sewickley Academy's 4th state championship in program history, joining 1997, 2010, 2017, and now here in 2026.
What a season from Sewickley Academy, Matt, and it just seemed like this year, there's so many teams that say, hey, I just want to win a WPIAL championship. Right away it was, hey, we want to dominate everyone. We want to win a WPIAL championship. We want to win a state championship. They took care of business of both. What a special group. what a way to end it for your seniors, Lucas Grimsley, Amari Spencer, and Caden Battles. And what a way for these underclassmen to battle adversity last year. You come back this year and you get the job done. And what's so beautiful, just like in this game, you had 10 different scores for Sewickley Academy. It was a team effort all the way around, as right now you're seeing the silver medals get presented, and eventually we're going to see the gold wrapped around Sewickley Academy as they win a state championship once again.
For Old Forge, I've done 25 of these state title games, David, and I don't think I've ever seen both teams, the assistant coaches going through the line and getting a chance to have a moment with every single player. A pretty special moment for both sides. So Old Forge do it, and now Sewickley's assistant coaches go through and give a hug to every single player down the line as the gold medals await the Sewickley Academy Panthers.
And again, to make every single storybook ending, there's got to be a great opponent. And I think Old Forge did that tonight as well. Again, first time since 1932. They're going to be legends when they go back to their hometown right outside of Wilkes-Barre. And they did everything they could. They have 2-star players in Logan Fanning and Cameron Parker. They didn't play their best game here tonight, but they made it tough for Sewickley. Not many teams can dictate the pace they did in the first quarter and the second quarter. Sewickley finally figured out. Great coaching adjustments as always from Coach Isolino and his staff, and the players executed and end up winning a state title once again for Sewickley Academy. And what's so exciting is a lot of these underclassmen are going to come back next year with new challenges. But for now, you take care of business, and in my opinion, you are the best team, not only in 2A, but I really think they have an argument of being the best team in all of Pennsylvania.
And that has been the dominance that Sewickley Academy has won with this season. And you see Athletic Director Mike Skirbo in his second season looking to lead the medal presentation with Mike Isolino. And, for Mike Skirbo, he had a unbelievable ride with Duquesne, winning the A-10 basketball championship his last year at Duquesne University. They win a game in March, and for 3 straight Marches, Mike Skirbo's been involved in championship contests. Duquesne 2 years ago, getting to the state championship 2 years as an athletic director. It's been a busy March for Mike, and a testament to everything that he does on the athletic director side of things, as well as the runner-up trophy is handed off to Old Forge.
It's nice to see, and DeMarco being down there again. He got hurt. He would have helped out in this game as well. Seeing him get embraced by his teammates, and he gets to hold the trophy as well. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being the second best team in the whole entire Pennsylvania. They did a really good job presenting how many teams go for this every single year, and it comes down to 2 teams here for boys 2A.
The medal presentation to the state champions of 2026, the Sewickley Academy Panthers. Somewhere up in heaven, Win Palmer smiles. First state title since Wynn's passing. See Drew Steele, Connor Tall. Caden Battles, Lucas Grimsley. You talk about those seniors and what they've meant to this program.
Love to see the seniors next to each other. You had Tall at the start of that line. Coach Isolino. I say it's probably unique because it's a guy, he seems like he's never satisfied. And then finally you take a deep breath winning this one. And it probably means so much to these players to have him tell them how proud he is of them and put that medal around their neck.
There's nothing like it. Mamadou Kane, a sophomore, getting a gold medal for the first time. Chris Tall gets his medal. You know, some of these guys that did not play as much throughout the varsity season, but made the varsity players so much better in practice day in and day out.
they'd say, you watch our games, you think we're intense, you should come to our practices. So a lot of these underclassmen that aren't getting varsity minutes yet, they're such a big deal for this team once again.
Jason Jerome and Susie Peluso, the athletic trainers.
There's our favorite scorekeeper, Big Mike. He talked to us all season long as well. And finally you get to the coaches, and great to see Greg Sircone have his son down there with him as well as he gets this medal. He's pretty familiar with getting a couple of these.
Yes, 4th game coaching in it. Trey Woodall, and there is Mike Isolino getting his gold medal in the state of Pennsylvania, and Executive Director of the WPIAA, Vince Sortino, to hand off the state champion trophy to the Panthers of Sewickley Academy, state champs in 2026.
Well-deserved celebration, Matt. You get the trophy, you get the chocolate bar, you get the net as well. What a beautiful sight if you're a Sewickley fan. And again, everyone is so proud back home for Sewickley bringing this home, and what a season it has been.
How sweet it is here in Chocolate Town to get a state championship and bring it back to the community and the oldest private institution in the state of Pennsylvania, Sewickley Academy, back on top of the basketball world of the Commonwealth.
And what a shot to end this game and end our broadcast. You see right there, winning 52-36 as they embrace and get to hold that coveted trophy. And the rings are coming home with them as Sewickley Academy wins their first one since 2017, Matt.
Yeah, the celebration just getting started for the Panthers as they cap off this 2026 season 30-1 overall. Thanks to our director, Corey Berger, producer Jake Mislipchek, behind the cameras, Matt Stanziola, Evan Laurent, and our entire JRM video production crew. For David McDermott, I'm Matt Fargo saying thanks for watching Sewickley Academy basketball all year long. It's been a pleasure bringing it to you, and it's been a pleasure bringing you the state championship here from the Giant Center. The Panthers on top of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We'll talk to you next season. Thanks for watching, everybody. A presentation of Sewickley Academy basketball by JRM Sports. Good night from Chocolate Town, USA.